Cheryl Swoopes, the MVP who filed for bankruptcy. Cheryl Swoopes was supposed to be set for life. Three-time WNBA MVP, 3 Olympic gold medals, first woman to have a Nike shoe, the face of the league before there even was a league. And then, in 2004, she filed for bankruptcy. It shocked everyone. According to reports, Swoopes had made millions during her career. WNBA contracts, endorsements, international play, but it disappeared quickly. She later admitted she was naive about money, trusting the wrong people, spending too freely, and making poor business choices. Her real estate investments tanked. A failed clothing line didn't help either. It was the classic case of a star without a safety net. At the time, the WNBA didn't offer financial planning resources. There was no support system for post-career transitions, just lights out. What's most haunting? Swoopes wasn't reckless. She just never learned to protect her money. In the years after her bankruptcy, she bounced between coaching gigs, TV appearances, and speaking engagements, rebuilding her life one check at a time. Swoopes remains a Hall of Famer, but her fall from grace warned a generation. Just because you're a star doesn't mean you're financially safe. Liz Cambage, superstar with no paycheck. At 6'8", Liz Cambage towered over the WNBA. An all-star, a walking double-double, one of the most dominant players in the league's modern era. And yet, in 2019, she revealed something that stunned the world. "I'm playing in China and I haven't been paid in 3 months. I can't even pay my mortgage." Wait, Liz Cambage broke? Cambage had chased overseas money like many WNBA stars do. China, Australia, the Middle East, places that offer 6- or 7-figure contracts during the WNBA offseason. But those contracts aren't always reliable. In China, Cambage said she was ghosted by her team. No payment, no recourse. She spoke candidly about the emotional stress, being far from home, unsure if she'd ever get paid, all while fans assumed she was rich. Back in the WNBA, Cambage faced more frustration. She often clashed with coaches and systems, and after leaving the Sparks, her future in the league became unclear. Cambage is a case study in how even elite players must hustle year-round just to stay afloat, and how that hustle can sometimes leave you with nothing. Skylar Diggins-Smith, postpartum paycheck problems. Skylar Diggins-Smith is one of the toughest guards in WNBA history, but her biggest fight didn't happen on the court. It happened after giving birth. In 2019, Diggins-Smith revealed that she played the entire WNBA season while pregnant. Then, after giving birth, she said she received no support from her team, the Dallas Wings, and was quietly sidelined, cut out from team functions, and left out of league-sponsored maternity protections. That financial gray area hit hard. She wasn't guaranteed a stable paycheck. Her endorsements paused, and no team was stepping up, so she fought back. Her outcry led to what's now known as the Skylar Clause, a set of reforms in the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement that ensures paid maternity leave, housing support, and childcare stipends. But the damage was done. Diggins-Smith had to fight just to secure basic support as a working mother, while being one of the top players in the league. Her story is less about personal mismanagement and more about the system failing even its best. Diggins-Smith helped build a better league, but it came at a steep personal and financial cost. Angel Reese, rookie paycheck, superstar pressure. Angel Reese is one of the most recognizable faces in women's basketball today. Millions of followers, NIL deals, signature fashion. She entered the WNBA with celebrity status rarely seen before, but not the paycheck to match. In a 2024 interview, Reese revealed that her rookie salary, just under $74,000, didn't even cover her monthly rent, which was reportedly $8,000. "I don't make enough money playing in the WNBA," she said bluntly. That confession went viral. Reese was already a media magnet, but her comment exposed just how lopsided the WNBA economy can be. A top 5 draft pick, a future franchise player. Yet her league salary was dwarfed by her lifestyle demands and off-court ventures. It wasn't about irresponsibility, it was about math. The league maxes out rookie contracts, and in cities like Chicago or New York, that income barely stretches. Reese leaned into endorsements and business opportunities, but her admission sparked a wider debate. How is the league supposed to grow when its brightest stars can't afford to live? It was a reality check wrapped in a viral quote, and it showed that being famous doesn't mean being financially secure. Ashley Battle, from Pro Hoops to Wall Street. Ashley Battle never became a household WNBA name, but what she did after basketball might be more important. After bouncing between teams like the Liberty and Storm from 2005-2009, Battle faced the harsh post-WNBA reality that many players aren't rich. They need to start over. She pivoted fast. First, she worked in wealth management. Then, she found her way into the NBA front office and eventually into business operations and scouting roles. Her path wasn't glamorous, but it was stable. And that's the point. In interviews, Battle has talked openly about how most WNBA players can't rely on savings alone. The average career is short, the earnings are modest, there's no massive pension. So Battle reinvented herself, and in doing so, became an example of what a second act looks like. She didn't go broke, but she could have, if she hadn't made a plan. Her story is the quiet reality behind the curtain. When the WNBA ends, the scramble begins. Aari McDonald, waived, signed, waived again. Aari McDonald was the number 3 overall pick in 2021. Fast, fearless, and loaded with upside. But like so many young WNBA guards, she quickly found herself caught in the churn of hardship contracts and injury replacements. In 2023, she was waived, then re-signed, then waived again. Each time her paycheck vanished, so did her housing, benefits, and stability. It wasn't because she lacked talent, it's because the league has just 144 spots and no room for error. Hardship contracts are short-term deals for injury relief. They're lifelines, but they're also volatile. Players can be let go with one phone call. McDonald has spoken about the emotional and financial toll of not knowing where she'll live week to week. Her story isn't just about instability, it's about how even top prospects can fall through the cracks. The WNBA doesn't have a G League, there's no farm system. If you're out, you're out. And when the money stops, you're on your own. Kate Starbird, league collapse, career in limbo. Before the WNBA, there was the ABL, and Kate Starbird was one of its brightest stars. She dominated at Stanford, won awards, and was drafted into the ABL, only for the league to fold mid-season in 1998. Just like that, Starbird and dozens of women lost their contracts, health coverage, and stability. She pivoted to the newly formed WNBA, bouncing between franchises like the Utah Stars, Seattle Storm, and Miami Sol. But the damage was already done. A promising pro career thrown into chaos by an unstable ecosystem. Starbird has since built a respected career in academia, but her pro playing days are a case study in how league instability can derail financial futures. Players like her were forced to start over, sometimes in entirely different fields, simply because the infrastructure failed them. Her story isn't about bad choices, it's about being ahead of her time and being punished for it. Andrea Congreves, waived and forgotten. Andrea Congreves came to the WNBA with experience and accolades, including Olympic appearances with Great Britain. But her WNBA tenure was marked by short-term contracts, limited playing time, and being waived repeatedly. She never had the chance to build momentum or financial security. Overseas stints filled the gaps, but even those weren't lucrative enough to build long-term wealth. After retiring, Congreves returned to the UK, working in coaching and development, far from the spotlight. Her story mirrors that of many international imports to the WNBA. Brought in, cycled out, and left without a clear next step. No fanfare, no exit plan, just a quiet fade out. Janelle McCarville, injuries, absence, and a vanishing act. Janelle McCarville was once a number 1 overall pick, a flashy passer, a tough forward, a WNBA champion. But then she disappeared. After helping the Minnesota Lynx win the 2013 title, McCarville took an unexpected break from the league in 2015. The official reason? Personal reasons. But whispers about injuries, burnout, and frustration with contracts lingered. She never made a full comeback. McCarville later revealed she'd played through significant back pain. Between physical toll and salary limitations, she chose not to return, despite having years left in the tank. It was a slow fade rather than a dramatic collapse, but the result was the same: a once prominent player exiting without closure or lasting financial comfort. She lives a quieter life now in Minnesota, but her career serves as a cautionary tale. Even champions can be left behind. Chantel Tremitiere, waived, replaced, forgotten. A first-round pick in the WNBA's inaugural draft, Chantel Tremitiere started every game in her rookie season. But within just a few years, she was waived by 3 different teams. Her fall was fast. Injuries piled up and younger talent arrived. Before she could settle into the league, her WNBA window slammed shut. With no guaranteed contracts and minimal savings, Tremitiere pivoted to coaching and media. She later pursued a PhD and even released music, but never found a steady financial groove from basketball alone. She's spoken openly about how hard it was to transition. Her story reflects the harsh reality. In the WNBA, one bad season can be your last, and there's no golden parachute. Kim Hampton, singing to stay afloat. Kim Hampton was a star of the early WNBA. As one of the faces of the New York Liberty, she brought charisma, skill, and leadership. But after a career-ending knee injury, she had to figure out life fast, without the backing of big WNBA money. She turned to singing and public speaking to pay the bills. Though passionate, these careers were inconsistent. She's also worked in community relations and player development, but her income reportedly never matched what she once earned. Hampton's post-career hustle is admirable, but it highlights just how vulnerable early WNBA players were. Despite her fame, she was left to freelance for financial survival. Kim Williams, the ultimate overseas grind. After a brief WNBA stint with the Utah Stars in 1999, Kim Williams fell off the radar, but she didn't stop playing. She went overseas for nearly 2 decades. Turkey, Poland, Israel, Hungary, wherever the checks cleared. The WNBA dream never returned, but Williams couldn't afford to stop. She had no choice but to chase contracts year after year until her knees gave out. When she finally retired in her 40s, she reappeared as a high school coach in Chicago. Her story is one of resilience, but also one of how little security WNBA dropouts have. No pension, no fallback, just the grind. Gia Perkins, coaching rebuild after low earnings. Gia Perkins had a respectable WNBA career, 13 seasons, an all-star nod, a championship in 2017. But she was never a superstar, and salaries were modest for most of her run. After retiring, she went quiet, then re-emerged in 2021 as an assistant coach at Texas Tech. It was a fresh start, not a retirement victory lap. Perkins is now rebuilding her career in coaching, likely to stabilize financially. Her story shows that even consistent veterans may have to start from scratch post-WNBA. Success in the league doesn't always equal security outside of it. Cara Wolters, big woman, small paycheck. Standing 6'7", Cara Wolters was one of the tallest players in league history. She won a WNBA title in 1999 and an Olympic gold in 2000. But her pro career was short-lived and not financially rewarding. Injuries, limited playing time, and the league's still developing salary structure meant Wolters exited without a financial cushion. She's since worked in media and coaching, but even with her accolades, she never became a high earner in the sport. Her story proves that trophies don't always translate to money, especially in women's basketball.